What's up, guys? In today's episode, we're gonna be replacing an irrigation timer. So this is one of the easiest jobs you can do as a handyman because you're gonna get them every once in a while, and they may seem hard to do, but in reality they are very easy. Quick money. It usually will take you about 30 minutes to 45 minutes, even if it's the first time doing it, because most timers out there, they're not gonna have as many stations as this one. Now the first thing you need to do is open it up. A lot of them, they have a key, so make sure you have the key, and they're gonna have either screws on the inside, or they're gonna have screws on the side, or they're gonna have a special key like this one right here, and it's gonna be on the side that allows you access to the inside. So I already unscrewed this one, and that allows access to the inside like this. Now on the inside, you're gonna have wires. You're gonna have either one or two wires coming from the transformer, which is this one right here, going into the main circuit panel right here. And then in the circuit panel, you're gonna have several cables. Now on the panel itself, you're gonna have letters. There's gonna be one that's gonna show C. Let me show you. This one right here, if you actually look, it says C. C stands for common. Actually, this one says COM. Now that's your common wire, and it's either going to be blue or green, or it could be any color, but you need to keep that in mind. And what that is it's just like your common wire, or your negative wire, or your neutral, whatever you want to call it. And that's where all your valves are going to be connected to. All these valves right here, they're connected to the common wire, and you can see it's blue. So what I need you to do is you're going to write somewhere, and you're going to put in there C is going to be the blue wire, and then you're gonna go down the line and you're gonna label everything. So number one is gonna be red, and then we got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 2 is gonna be brown. So brown. 3 is gonna be orange, so we're gonna do orange. And then we got 4 here. It's gonna be yellow. 4, if you get a better pen, it's gonna be yellow. All right, so we got 1, 2, 3, and 4 stations, and that's it. That's gonna be the main idea for most timers out there. Now you can either write it down like I did, or you can label the cables individually. Normally I usually write it down. It's a lot easier. Most times you don't have enough space in there to label the wires directly. So now let's take this box out. A lot of these timers, they're either gonna have screws on the bottom that you loosen up, that relieves the tension on the wire and allows you to pulling out. Some of them are pressure plates, where you just push against the tab and allows you to pull the wires out. But this one, it's gonna be screws. So you just pull everything out and it will come right out. Just like that. Easy. Next, make sure the power to the timer is off. And you're gonna have to disconnect power to the transformer. Now the transformer, it's either it's going to be 24 volts, so anything coming out is 24 volts. That's not going to be a problem. The problem is going to be coming in. That's either, depending on your area, it's either going to be 110 or 220. Obviously if you're outside the United States, it's going to be 220. And just undo the wires. If you've done any semi-electrical in the past, you know this is very easy to do. Common sense. There we go. And now we take the timer off the wall. Most times there's going to be either 2 or 3 screws keeping the timer on the wall, so just find the screws and get it off. Get your new timer. Most of them are going to be locked, so use the key to open it. And then this one, we're actually using the same type of timer so it makes it easier to replace. But the idea on all these timers on the inside is going to be the same. The only thing that differs is how you actually access the inside of your timer. I don't have to use a level because I'm using the existing holes that were in the wall, and it was previously leveled before, so there we go. So that's the timer. And then most times for timers out there, you're gonna have a piece of pipe that's coming down here. If you've ever done sub panels in the past, obviously you know what I'm talking about. But what you do is there is a nut on the inside that keeps the fitting in place inside the timer, just like this. Just take the old one out and put it into the new one. Most new timers actually come with this. If it doesn't, you can use the old one. There you go. Same principle here. This fits inside like this, and then it has a ring on the inside that holds it in place. And then just match the wires, black to black, white to white. And then grab your wire that you removed previously. This one doesn't have a pipe coming out since everything is connected in here. There we go. And now we got everything written down here. So remember, blue was common. So find common underneath the panel, find the matching screw, and on the bottom there's gonna be a hole where you stick the wire through, just like that. There we go. As soon as you feel resistance, just maybe 1/8 of an inch more, and then you're good to go. You don't have to over tighten it. Now number one, what's red? So we got red right here, which is right next to it. Right there. And then just keep following the colors that you wrote down earlier to the numbers on the circuit board. There we go. We got all the cables hooked up the way they used to be. And then most timers that have a battery compartment. This one uses this 9-volt batteries, but a lot of the other timers that you're going to be working on, all they do is they have a little compartment, like a little tab, and then to activate the battery, you just pull that, and then that will keep that's just a backup to keep the settings if the power ever goes out. So now turn the power back on, and then set the time. Every timer is going to be a little different, so just keep that in mind. Okay, and then give it a test and make sure that it works. And then I can hear the valves running, so it's working. And that's it. Now let's talk about how do you know if it's a timer or if it's your valves. If you have an experience with irrigation, a lot of the times it's going to be the irrigation valves. I would say 90% of the times irrigation valve is going to be your problem. So you're going to come up to your customer's house, you're going to see the timer, you're going to test it, you're going to turn it on, but then the valve is not responding. Normally it's going to be your solenoid, which is this thing right here. Over time they will wear out, and most of them on the bottom they have like a little rubber gasket. This will wear out over time, so you need to replace them. Very easy to replace on these Hunter valves. All of them, they have a solenoid that looks like this, but most of them, all they do is just unscrew and you put a new one in, and then you wire the common, and then the color that's going to to the circuit board, just match that to the old one and you're good to go. That will fix, I would say, 90% of the irrigation problems out there. But sometimes the timer will go out, like this one. How did I know this timer was bad? Well, for one, it was working just fine, and then it stopped. Nothing changed, and it will work for a little bit, and then we'll go into test mode, and you wouldn't get out of it. And you have to unplug and plug it back in, and we'll just keep doing that non-stop. So I knew exactly the timer was the problem here. Another reason why the timer goes out is usually the transformer on the inside. If the customer has a lot of valves and they use water all the time, and with the heat outside, especially if the timer's outside, the transformer will heat up, it will overheat over time, and then it will stop working. And how you can check is you get your multimeter and then you just check for 24 volts. I had that happen one time in all this year, so it's not very common. Normally it's just a timer that goes bad. But other than that, very easy to do. And then this job right here, $150, and it literally takes less than 30 minutes. Anyways, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like it and subscribe. I will see you next time.